Hello, everyone. Today we have Zachary Rozga. Zach is the founder and CEO of the Consumer Engagement Company. He's an entrepreneur by definition with several companies under his belt, both product and service companies. His passion is disrupting from the consumer perspective and creating products and services that help businesses create a better connection to their customers. Zach, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Pleasure. So tell me a little bit about your company. What does consumer engagement do?
So the consumer engagement company at its most basic level is we guarantee improved engagement, in your marketing and advertising efforts. When you work with our platform, we will get you better leads, consumer insights, and higher brand awareness using our mobile interactive web app platform.
Got it, got it. I know engagement is very general because you have so many channels and you have so many things you might be doing across the board. So tell me a little bit about what area you specialize in driving engagement through.
Yeah, so right now we're really focused on what I like to call the opaque channels in marketing. So these are the ones that don't tend to have a built-in ROI or a built-in ROAS. So think about out of home, so billboards. Think about event-based marketing. And event-based marketing could be at a trade show. You could be a sponsor of a major event. You could own your own events. And we also like to think about in retail applications. So you might have a display at the end cap. You might have some on-shelf tagging. And then finally, surprising to us is influencer campaigns. This wasn't necessarily one that we started out to pursue, but we've actually been pulled in by some of our enterprise customers. So in each of those four areas, there isn't the same sort of data-driven metrics today that you can get out of every digital campaign that you run, whether it's through the programmatic ad stack or whether it's direct to Facebook. And so we see a real opportunity to turn these, what we like to say, in real life marketing opportunities into digital experiences. And so that's what we're focused on.
Cool, cool. So for those who don't know what ROAS is return on ad spend, right? So it's a big problem for a lot of companies doing these billboards and offline marketing, that to kind of see how much data they're driving, how much engagement they're driving. So it's definitely a big problem out there. There are many players in this market, but everybody does it different. What's unique about you guys?
Yeah, so what's unique about us is, when Apple released the ability to trigger a QR code off of the device with the camera alone, you don't have to have it in a separate app. We saw a massive explosion and adoption of that in other parts of the world, and we realized they're not really doing that so much in the United States. And when people were using it, it was like a buy now, like immediate buy now. So hey, I've got this offer, and it's like driving you straight to a purchase decision, or maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's just pushing you to a home page. Right. And we actually feel like that's a broken compact with the consumer who's looking at a passing advertisement and what they're actually expecting from this opportunity or this experience. And so what we've done is we've boiled it down into a completely customizable web app solution. So no apps to download, triggers directly to your mobile device on the browser. And we use the power of question and answers to be able to allow that consumer to self-drive into a purchase decision. So you can almost think about it as a real-time funnel, a real-time marketing funnel, where everybody at the top are the people who see the ad, the people who click on it are the people who are taking interest, and then you can filter them all the way down to the end where you can capture their email address, and you can even create a custom purchase decision. So just as an example, we're working with a company that is a new supplements company. They have 27 products. And as somebody who doesn't necessarily use supplements on a regular basis, I don't know where to start. And so what we've worked with them is, simplifying it down to 4 persona types. On one end being your pro athlete, and on the other end is somebody who's trying to lose weight. And by answering a simple set of 5 questions, it drives you down to I'm looking to lose weight, and here is the bundle that I should purchase today. And oh, by the way, since you played this game with us, we're going to give you 25% off right now and drive you directly to that purchase decision. So that's how our system works. When we talk about engagement, we're really talking about getting in mind share. So right now, I think everybody looks at this idea of duration. And in advertising, duration is dropping and dropping substantially. I mean, you just look at the average video view, and it's like 3 seconds now. And then you look at, you know, influencer posts, and they say it's an average of 1.7 seconds. But I mean, we all know the behavior. It's so you're not even getting a fraction of a second on some of these impressions.
Right.
And so, you know, when people play with our product, we average 60 to 90 seconds and it's focused on your brand.
Because they invested in the actual funnel, so as soon as they start feeding you data, they continue over. Now, do you track, I'm assuming, every step of the funnel where people are dropping off? I'm calling a funnel, but the process of the data collection. I'm assuming you track every step and then you report it back to the vendor, right? Or to the advertiser.
So actually, we believe, and this is why we say we guarantee engagement, is that we only deliver it to you when somebody completes all the questions that you've asked. So the way our program works is it all starts at the beginning with a cover card that sort of anchors you in the experience. It tells you why you're here. We go through a series of questions and answers, and then at the end is sort of that punchy aha moment, which is, hey, you've just answered a couple questions. Why don't you sign up for our newsletter? Or why don't you download our white paper? And then if you're a consumer product company, hey, we've got this custom offer for you. Why don't you buy right now? So our job is to deliver you to that sort of payoff position. And if we don't get you there, we don't charge you. So if the consumer doesn't make it to what we call the engagement, which is completing all the answers, we just don't charge you, because that's our guarantee. That's why you come to us, is to get to that payoff point.
And do you charge differently based on the vendor, or
no,
it's one model? Yep.
It's one model. So we have a complete performance-based model. There is a slight setup fee. So you do have to get it set up, and you know, we have experts on our team who help with getting your funnel built properly. We also work with agencies that are experts in funnel development, and we just sort of work with them to say, here's how we need this data to put it into our platform. And then we also have the ability to clone and edit over time so that you can continue to evolve and improve upon your funnel. And so there's a little fee to do that up front. Once that's up and set, then we just run on a performance basis. And we also give you what we call response bank. We load it up for you at the beginning. And once you draw down from that response bank, you just buy new responses. And so at the top end, if you buy 25,000 responses from us, it costs you $2,500. Now, if you buy lower amounts of responses,
$2.5 per lead, technically.
10 cents per response.
Okay.
And we see about 30% of people who participate will either drop in an email address or purchase directly from you.
Okay, these are good metrics for capturing data. It's a lot cheaper than doing it the paid ad way. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, well, and that is we plug into things that you're already spending on. You've already paid for that billboard. You've already paid that influencer. You've already paid to go to that conference every year. And so what we're doing is this is essentially enhancing your existing marketing efforts.
Okay, great. I want to shift a little bit gears to ask you about how you guys generate leads. Well, how do you acquire your customers now? And what would you say are like the top winning channels of lead gen for you?
You know, so we're a new company. We're a startup ourselves. We actually have a tool that's a lead gen tool. So that's what we do. And we work with channel partners. You know, our number one source of business right now is referrals. And we're working with a lot of agencies. We're working with a lot of companies that are in our space. And, you know, they're bringing us customers, you know, so people who run out-of-home agencies or people who are working with influencers already, they're seeing this as a need to offer it to their existing customer base. So that is our number one channel source right now.
So and partnership development and partnership marketing itself is huge. Tell me a bit about how do you approach getting to those agencies, because they're bombarded by a million offers, million SaaS platforms, million partnership offering. How do you break through the noise, and how do you identify the agencies that could be a good channel for you?
Well, right now, because a couple of the people that are a part of our founding team are from that world, we're starting off by, you know, word of mouth and working through our internal networks.
Okay.
That being said, we are starting to reach out to people such as yourself, and I think we have a message that's resonating and is unique. We're not talking about, you know, I don't want to say stolen data, but we're not talking about earned data or found data. We're talking about first party results, and we're talking about um, the situation where you're creating your own database and your own contacts, and that's resonating with people.
Mhm.
And I think also too, because we're not saying we want to replace anything, we're saying we're looking to enhance things that you're already doing. That's also been extremely helpful.
So do you work with them on like a referral model? So you would offer them, you explain to them what the platform is, the value of it for their end customers, and then you'll just give them a kickback of some sort, or how does that relationship look like?
It depends on the partner.
Mhm.
So some agencies, they actually see us as a value-added service that they're going to put into their offer to their customers just anyway. Because again, these are the ones that are going to be doing the hard yard, which is actually the hardest part of our platform is actually doing the persona development.
Mhm.
If you can't really put together the persona, or we also do a lot of quizzing. If you don't know the right questions to ask, you're never going to be able to be successful with our product. I mean, that is the hard part of this. There is some intellectual capital that has to go into making a successful consumer engagement.
Mhm.
And so that's actually a godsend for some agencies that are really struggling with automation,
Mhm.
because their unique capabilities is that strategy piece of it, and that's not necessarily something that we want to be experts at, because we know there's people that know that brand much better. We just want to unlock that, and we want to unleash that into the market.
Got it. Okay, great. So you're finding agencies that can get value out of extending their offering through your product, and that's just a natural fit. And depending, I
That's
would say some
one.
of, yeah.
So on the other side too, we work with people that are channel partners that just have a lot of customers, and we're either giving them a discount to as a value added service to their network.
Mhm.
Or, so for instance, we have a partnership with WeWork Labs because we're a WeWork Labs member. Any WeWork Labs member that's out there that wants to get access to our platform and get into our getting started package will get a 20% discount.
Okay.
So we're starting to do programs like that where we're going to people that have collections of companies. So one place that's really interested and hot in our product right now are consumer product companies, and in particular DTC companies. Because we can do direct conversion while simultaneously getting really interesting consumer insights at the same time.
Got it. Okay, that's great. Good to know. Finally, I know you're coming to a hard stop here. I wanted to ask you, what do you recommend, vendors who are doing advertisement or people who are running events, actually, that's another area that
Yeah.
you target. What do you recommend in nowadays with all the noise that's out there and
Yeah.
with attribution? Give us one suggestion that you'd like to share with them.
So I'm going to give two. I know you said one. One
Go
is
for
going to
it.
be towards brand advertisers.
Mhm.
Really start to think and look hard at the ROA, or the ROAS and the ROI of your digital advertising.
Mhm.
And think about what is going to happen when the privacy laws come into effect.
Mhm.
And do you have a plan to address those? That would be number one.
Mhm.
Then with the event side, because we do a lot of work in the events business. Actually, this product really came out of the events business.
Mhm.
Think about your sponsors. Think about them critically. They are your number one source of revenue, and are you providing them enough value?
Mhm.
Because we're hearing that they're not.
Right.
And I mean, this is sort of an overt pitch for our product, but I know that sponsors want to know that they're getting a return on their investment. And, a lot of event planners and event programmers are not necessarily providing them what they want.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that would be my two. And privacy is an issue for everybody, but I mean, really critically think about what are you going to do when some of these laws come into effect, and think about stuff outside the programmatic ad stack.
Awesome. Okay, this is great information, especially in the event space because we do that extensively. Not necessarily that we focus on sponsorship, but when we do have sponsors, they always ask for data, and a lot of times it's very hard to get that data and kind of stream it in a meaningful fashion back to them. So that's a great area to solve. All right. Well, here you go, guys. We got Zach from the Consumer Engagement Company. If you want to check him out, I'll be sharing the link over in the description. And other than that, definitely focus on on your ROAS, return on ad spend. Zach, thank you so much.
Richard, thank you for having me.